Lich. Enchantment from Alpha, Beta, Unlimited. Such a bad card from old school Magic, but such a fun card to play, especially if you could build a combo around it. And it's what I believe, in my humble opinion, one of the most interesting cards to play in old school Magic, even though it's really bad. And I built a deck around it, which is a Lich, Mirror Ball, Fireball combo. And in this video, I want to show you exactly how I set up my combo and how this deck was built. So without further ado, let's get into the deck tech of this deck. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy playing this deck. All right, so I'll see you on the table. All right, so how does Lich work? Lich costs 4 black. It's an enchantment. When you play it, you basically go to 0 life, but you do not die. You do not lose the game. From that moment on, every time you gain life, you draw a card instead, and every time you lose life or take damage, you gotta sacrifice permanence from play in order not to lose the game. So let's say you take 3 points of damage, well, you have to sacrifice 3 permanents that you have in play. If Lich ever leaves play, whether it goes to the graveyard or back in your hands, you lose the game. That's why I say it's really a bad card, because you're always one disenchant away, or tranquility, or boomerang the Lich back in your hands to basically losing the game right there on the spot. But if played in a combo deck and the combo works, it's pretty fun and interesting to play, because your opponent basically never gets to play again. And the combo's right here. It's these 3 cards. Now, that's why I said it's a hard... I mean, it's not a competitive deck. It's just a fun deck, because you got to pull out these 3 cards in play at the same time to make your combo work. But when it does, it's really interesting. So what happens here is, let's say you play these 2 cards first, right? And then you play Lich. So what's going to happen is that you're going to go to 0 life. But at that point, if you have forests in play with Dark Heart of the Wood, you could sacrifice a forest to gain 3 life. But because Lich is in play, you don't gain life, but instead you draw 3 cards every time you sacrifice a forest. Now, Fast Bond gives you the ability to play as many lands as you want per turn, providing that you take 1 point of damage for every other land besides the first one that you play. So by playing Lich, let's say you got four forests into play. Well, you could tap all of the forests for the mana and then sacrifice them to Dark Heart of the Wood. So you would draw 12 cards, and now you could play some more forests with Fast Bond. So yes, you will take a point of damage every time, but you could sacrifice other permanents that you're going to have in play until you basically draw your entire deck and finish off the deck with your combo, which is, well, there's 2 win conditions. The first one is Mirror Universe, where you play Mirror Universe and you switch your life total with your opponent. So you have 0 and your opponent has, let's say, 20 lives. Well, during your next upkeep, you're going to sacrifice Mirror Universe and switch life points with your opponent, and he's going to go to 0, and you're going to get his life points, and you win the game. So this is the first win condition. And the second one is obviously Fireball, if you don't get the Lich out in time, and you can manage a way to get the Mirror Universe and switch life and Fireball. So really, this is how you win the game. There's no other win conditions. I have no creatures in this deck. It's really about trying to pull out this miracle combo and drawing your entire deck. So here's the list that I have for my deck. And really, the strategy is to try and get the fast bond in play as soon as you can. It costs 1 green, so you could obviously play this turn 1 and start dropping a lot of lands. And the important part, this is really the final part, the Lich, but this is where you start. You want to drop a lot of lands, and you want to really start drawing cards quickly. Now, to draw cards, obviously you have Sylvan Library, which you want to put in play immediately as soon as you can to get the most cards you could. Now, Sylvan Library works very well also with Dark Heart of the Wood, because if you see you have a lot of lands on your top 3 cards, well, you could choose to take an extra card and take 4 points of damage, but then you could put that card on the floor and gain back 3 with Dark Heart because it's a forest. So you really only take 1 point of damage to cycle through your deck really quickly every turn. So these two really synergize well together. But then really it's the card drawing. You want to start drawing cards, right? Here are all the cards that make you draw. Now the point of Time Twister and Wheel of Fortune is that they work very well with Fast Bond, because you draw 7, and let's say you got 3 or 4 lands, you could put them all on the floor and then play more spells. And I find that the best games are when you get a draw 7, you put down all your lands, you play your draw 7, and by drawing 7 more cards, you get your second draw 7. So you really could just play anything. You're really fast with this. So those are the draw cards. Now, obviously, you got the recall and regrowth to bring back anything you need, any game piece you need. You have Demonic Tutor to go pick up anything you need. I like to add for creature control, really, the Abyss and Chaos Orb. Chaos Orb could destroy anything, but I really like to use it for creature control. And then we got, Time Walk and Mind Twist, because why not? Again, these are really 2 good cards. And, again, if you play a turn 1 Fast Bond and you got a lot of lands and you got a Mind Twist, you can already Mind Twist your opponent for a lot, so it gives you a really good start. I added 2 Dark Rituals just to help me, cast spells and to cast Lich, because Lich is 4 black. By the way, I only run 1 copy of Lich. This is your final piece that you want to put down for your combo. So the rituals help for the Lich. Obviously, there's the win condition, which is Fireball and Mirror Universe to win the game. I included a Glass of Urza to play because I want to see if my opponent has a Disenchant or a Tranquility in their hands. So before playing Lich, I'm going to look at my opponent's hand to see if there's any danger of playing Lich, because obviously if they have any of those cards, you play the Lich and they'll destroy it and you lose the game. So I like to have the Glass of Urza. And to stop my opponent from really destroying me and killing me by destroying Lich, I included 2 copies of Mana Short, because if I see that my opponent has a Disenchant or whatnot, some other card to destroy Lich, I will Mana Short him the turn before I play Lich, because usually when you play Lich and you have these 2 cards in play, the combo set and you're going to pretty much play your entire deck on that turn. So your opponent's not going to play any other turn, because he's going to lose on that particular turn. So you want to Mana Short him first. So that's why I included 2 Mana Shorts. And the last card that I included is Channel, because once again, you could play Channel early in the game and take a lot of damage. Lich is going to bring you to 0 anyway, so you could be at 1 and play your Mirror Universe or your X spells, which are Brain Geyser, Mind Twist. Especially if you have Fast Bond, you could Brain Geyser yourself for like 15 or 10 or 15 and take some damage with Channel, because obviously the cards that you're going to draw are going to allow you to play more lands in play. and it's like it's a never-ending loop. Especially by playing one Dark Heart of the Wood, you just gain life. So really, it's all the cards work well together if the combo works. And also channels there, well, for if you're lucky enough to get the channel fireball in the beginning, well, you know how that works. That's another win condition. Now, as for lands, really all my lands are forests or have forests in them, because when Lich is out, these are all ancestral recalls if you have Dark Heart of the Wood and you want to sacrifice these. So these cards are going to make you draw 3 cards each. So right there, you got 12 lands, you got 36 draws right there. So if the combo comes out, you're basically going to draw your entire deck. And if your opponent was mana shorted the turn before, there's nothing you can do. You're going to win the game. Just by drawing everything, putting more cards on the floor. Eventually, you're going to put the Mirror Universe on the floor. You're going to cast Time Walk, and you're going to win the game by exchanging your life points with your opponent. There's more lands here. These ones have no forests, but you're going to need these particular colors right here to cast your stuff. Obviously, your jewelry, which is Lotus, and all of your jewelry. And you got library and strip mine, because those belong in the deck. So yeah, when you play again Lich, Dark Heart of the Wood, and Phasbon, you basically just tap a land. You just basically tap a land for mana, and then sacrifice it and draw 3 cards, and you just keep on putting more lands, and yeah, that's about it. It's a really fun deck to play. It doesn't work all the time, but when it does, it's so fun. And I'll try to download a video of me playing this deck against someone else so you could see it in action and see exactly how it works. So in my next videos to come, I'll try to put a video of me playing this deck against someone else, so you get to see how the deck actually works. So I hope you enjoyed this deck tech, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.